Chào mừng quý vị đến với diễn đàn CEO. Thưa quý vị, ở thời điểm hiện nay khi mà kinh tế gặp rất nhiều những khó khăn thì đây cũng là một khoảng lặng để cho các doanh nghiệp có thể tự nhìn nhận lại những bước đường hoạt động kinh doanh của mình. Và đây cũng có thể coi là một dịp thuận tiện để các doanh nghiệp tái cấu trúc. Và một trong những vấn đề đó tức là làm thế nào để xây dựng một đội ngũ nhân sự hoạt động hiệu quả, bách chiến bách thắng. Đây cũng chính là một phần quan trọng trong kỹ năng lãnh đạo mà chúng tôi muốn được chia sẻ cùng quý vị qua chương trình hôm nay. Xin được hân hạnh giới thiệu cùng quý vị hai vị doanh nhân đến với chương trình. Họ là những người đã có nhiều trải nghiệm và thành công trong việc áp dụng kỹ năng lãnh đạo vào điều hành doanh nghiệp. Ông Chris Forrest Harvey, Tổng Giám đốc Vietnam Works.
Hi.
Ông Trần Trọng Kiên, Chủ tịch Hội đồng Quản trị Công ty Cổ phần Du lịch Thiên Minh, được biết đến với thương hiệu Buffalo Tours.
Great to be here.
Thank you both of you to come to CEO Talk today. It's difficult and definitely in some cases you may have a mistake in recruiting. Do you think so?
I make a lot of mistakes in hiring. Trust me.
A leader engages people by being enthusiastic,
Yes.
by being energetic, by saying, I am really excited to appear in the program today. Leaders serve their people. Think about your people like your customers. Think about working for your company like a product.
You work hard, you work very hard. I think you work harder than anyone else in the market. But opposite to what is said over
Not have
here,
like this.
that we like what we're working. And because we like what we're working, we know that we can create great experience, prosperity for our partner and ourselves. And we work hard.
Work hard, but it's not a kind of hard work culture like this.
No, it's not. But we're working very hard.
Absolutely. And Mr. Grid, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
And Mr. Kiên, how's it going?
Things going well. Thank you.
This time we have to face to the financial crisis in the world and in Vietnam. The inflation, the challenges affects to a lot of activity for running the business in company. And do both of you think this is a good opportunity for us to restructure, Mr. Chris?
I think any time is a good opportunity to restructure. Any crisis is always a good time to restructure. But I like to think about running a business not as waiting for crises to strike, to restructure, but structuring your business in a way that allows you to weather, to withstand a crisis.
And do you think recruitment is the most important thing, one of the most important thing aspect to do this time?
I'd say recruitment is always the most important thing that any leader does in a company. After all, you achieve results as a leader through people. And if you don't have good people on your team, it's hard to achieve good results. So number one, everything begins with the people you have on your team.
How many percent of people to decide the success of Buffalo Tour?
Every member in the company would contribute to the success of the company. I don't believe that there were a single person in the business don't contribute to the business, success of the business.
Yeah, your business is different, and do you think you need the different people to work for you?
We need people who love travel.
Love travel.
Yeah. But at the company growing, obviously we start having people who work in the back office, accountants, IT, developers, finance people. But I think when they get to the business, they start learning to travel and enjoy traveling. And I think the travel back will get to everyone in the company.
And how about other criteria that you need from your candidates who applies in now Buffalo Tours?
Enjoy and love travel is very important. But obviously, at the business and aside of Buffalo Tours, we need, they have the competency and skills for the job. They got to be very motivated to work for the company, and that is very important for us. I think we can have the right people with the right skill, but if it's not motivated to work, it'll be very, very difficult, and it doesn't make sense.
And how can you realize those criteria from recruitment?
This is actually a very good question. I think Chris probably have.
Can you help him?
Because the finding out what's real about a person is a technique and it requires experience and skills in the interview process.
Yes.
And also in the whole hiring process, I would say. We start, in the past, I was always thinking that if you can have a good interview, if you see someone, they have the basic 4A, being affordable, being articulate, being attractive, that's enough. But then, and being assertive is enough. But it's not. In fact, I think it is almost the same as doing a 50-50 blind bet. Mm-hmm. You develop your skill from hiring by asking the right question, by listening to them, by getting the right track. Because often you have the people who interview very well is become a very bad staff. And the other time you have people who are doing very badly in the interview, but then they will become a wonderful staff, a star performer in the company.
It's very difficult, and definitely in some cases you may have a mistake in recruiting. Do you think so?
I make a lot of mistakes in hiring, trust me.
And you have ever asked Vietnamworks to look for right people for you?
They're one of our customers. Thank you, Kien.
We work with Vietnamworks for our hiring. Yeah.
And you have ever the experience from the bond and blood in recruitment?
Yeah, that's kinh nghiệm sương máu.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
I know that. Yeah. Sure. Kien and I have both made many mistakes, and that's how you learn. Here's one mistake I want to share and what I learned from it. A few years ago, we hired a leader, a director for one of our teams. And when I interview, I always like to ask one question. One question I like to ask. Tell me about the biggest mistake you've made and what you've learned from it. And she looked at me and she said,
What happens?
I can't think of any mistakes. And I said, come on, I know you've made a mistake. I've made 6 mistakes today already. And I made her promise to send me a mistake by email later that night. And so she did. She sent me a mistake. And it was a good mistake and what she learned from it. She joined the company, and what we found was she was great in many respects, but she would not ask for help when she was in trouble. Mm-hmm. She would not admit she didn't know something. Mm-hmm. If she made a mistake or there was a problem on her team, she didn't ask her boss for help. And what happened was, her boss could have supported her, but what happened was problems got worse and worse and worse. And by the time her boss figured out what was happening, it was too late. The lesson I learned is, if I ever interview someone again, and I ask them, tell me about a mistake you made and what you learned from it, and she says, or he says, I can't think of any, I will not hire that person.
And have you ever fired the right person and hired the wrong person?
Well, that's the case I just told you about, hiring the wrong person. Yes. We hired the wrong person there. I've been lucky in that I haven't really fired anybody. And what I mean by that is what I like to call it is managing people out. So I found if you're very clear with expectations, so if we work together, I'd say, okay, here's your job, here's what I expect you to do, here's the results I expect, and you understand very, very well what your job is. And then I'm going to give you constant feedback every day, every week, and let you know how you're doing.
Có hơn 10 năm kinh nghiệm về kinh doanh trực tuyến tại Mỹ và Việt Nam, ông Chris Harvey gia nhập Vietnamworks từ năm 2006. Tại đây, ông luôn nỗ lực xây dựng công ty đạt tầm thế giới với đội ngũ nhân viên tận tụy, đầy nhiệt huyết, nỗ lực giúp cộng đồng người tìm việc đạt được ước mơ nghề nghiệp và các công ty đạt được mục tiêu tuyển dụng. Vietnamworks.com đã trở thành website tuyển dụng trực tuyến thành công nhất tại Việt Nam mấy năm trở lại đây. Môi trường văn hóa công ty dân chủ, năng động và tích cực đã làm nên thương hiệu của Chris Harvey. Mục tiêu của người lãnh đạo này là xây dựng Vietnamworks trở thành một môi trường làm việc nơi mọi người cống hiến hết mình, đầy thử thách nhưng cũng đầy niềm vui và được tưởng thưởng xứng đáng nhất tại Việt Nam. nghiệp trường Đại học Y Hà Nội, nhưng ông Trần Trọng Kiên, Chủ tịch Hội đồng Quản trị, Công ty Cổ phần Du lịch Thiên Minh lại chọn cho mình con đường đi hoàn toàn khác, đó là phát triển dịch vụ du lịch. Đến nay, ông đã đưa Buffalo Tours, thương hiệu thuộc sở hữu của Thiên Minh, trở thành một trong những công ty lữ hành quốc tế hàng đầu tại Việt Nam. Với phương châm làm những điều không thể và chọn những con đường mà người khác không dám đặt chân tới, ông đã chú trọng tới việc phát triển những sản phẩm du lịch độc đáo như du lịch trải nghiệm, du lịch mạo hiểm, du lịch văn hóa, cộng đồng và du lịch có trách nhiệm, đồng thời tận dụng nguồn nhân lực tiềm năng tại các địa phương. Buffalo Tour đã trở thành cầu nối văn hóa, lịch sử của Việt Nam và thế giới. Tháng 3 năm 2011, quyết định táo bạo mua lại chuỗi khách sạn, hệ thống khách sạn và khu nghỉ dưỡng Victoria của ông Kien đã đưa Thiên Minh trở thành doanh nghiệp Việt Nam đầu tiên mua lại 100% cổ phần của một doanh nghiệp nước ngoài với giá trị cao nhất từ trước đến nay, 45 triệu đô la Mỹ.
Do you think about the importance of the belief in leadership?
Yeah. How much time do you have? Leadership to me is about connecting with people, understanding what they want, helping to give them what they want. At the same time, you lead the organization to a higher place. It's motivating people. Everything great that's been achieved in the world has been achieved through leadership of others. So leadership is something I feel very passionate about.
And in multicultural, in traveling tours, do you think it's more complicated?
It certainly be more difficult because not everyone speak English.
Yes.
Or not everyone
Exactly.
speak Vietnamese.
Yes.
So we would need to use relatively simple, and sometimes we have to do it in multi languages as well. When my message I sent through the Victoria group when actually we took over the group in February. I had to write in 4 languages: French, English, Vietnamese, Khmer, and make sure that it is simple enough for people who, from gardener to security, will understand and having the patience to read it as well. And that is one of the challenges, among other challenges as well, managing multicultural, because one gesture in one culture could be a different meaning in different culture as well.
And how can you passionate your staff in working?
Not me, I think, who make people to passionate about working. I think it is the people who come and work and be proud. I think the biggest part as a CEO we could do for a lot of people is to create an environment where the people working for you and for the company would feel very motivated and welcome to come to work in the morning. And you wake up in the morning, you feel that you want to go to work because this is somewhere you can actually be challenged. You would meet nice people. You have a good reason.
And Kien said something interesting. He said every day people need to wake up and want to go to work. I think of it the same way. Every day people wake up and they make a decision. Do I want to continue working at Vietnam Works? Do I want to continue buying Chris's product or not? Because when they find another product that has more value than my product, they're going to switch. So my job is to make sure that they don't find more value. So I am always trying to make our environment fun, give people training opportunities and learning opportunities, give them challenges, match people to the right jobs, and that's how I find that we retain people and motivate people.
Anh Kien said that in Buffalo Tour, everybody wake up in the morning and happy to go to work because they have because they will travel to beautiful places and stay in luxury 5-star hotel with a high salary. So everybody will be happy with that, including me myself. Do you think so? So it's easy for him to manage his staff.
I think he's asking for a job. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure that all this glamorous thing is true, because I think being a tour guide, There were a lot behind the scenes than just traveling on to nice places and staying in five-star hotel. Yes, this is one of the aspects of the job, but to be, I think if you're creating an opportunity for people, for the good, excellent people to come and join the company, you would need them to create opportunity for them to grow, because nobody wants to work in one company that stays in the same place and no grow at all.
Do you think about how to build a winning team?
Wow, that's a big question.
How can you achieve that?
Yeah. Well, I'll try a couple of points, and I'd like to hear Kien's thoughts. I think it all starts with recruiting. What people are you bringing into your company? Are they people that have passion for what they do? Are they motivated? Are they friendly? Are they the kind of people that you want to spend a whole week traveling with, for example? Number one, so bring the right people in your company with the right skills. Number two, communicate very clearly what your expectations are of them. And after you communicate your expectations, communicate very clearly feedback regularly. A lot of managers make a mistake. They don't tell people what they expect, and then when people do something wrong, they say, that's wrong, and that's super demotivating. So you want to be very clear. Then when people do something right, you want to reward them. Hey, that's a great job.
Apply in Buffalo Tours.
Again, the number one for building a high-performing and winning teams is you got to make sure that every people working in the teams know that they are very important and valuable for in the teams, and that's why it's come all the way from the communication from the moment they come for the interview or look for the job ad to the moment they gone through the interviews and they actually go be inducted in the company, get the first training on the hard skills that required for the job, to the continuous training that we provided and the system that where we reward and we acknowledge their performance and terms, and give them the opportunity to grow. So I think make sure that it's always clearly communicate that they are a valuable part of this company and they are part of the success. It's not because of the CEO, it's not because of the manager, but because of them that makes Buffalo to what it is, a company. I think it's a very, very important. So make sure that valuable every single member of the team. Second thing, I think I repeated last time, they were very clear communicating the goal and objective and making people to work towards the goal and objective. At Buffalo Tours, we do have indicator for every single level. So I, as a CEO, I openly communicate my goal to the team working with me, and then communicate their goals, how that contribute to my goal. If they actually meet their goal, I would be able to achieve the goal. And the same thing for their staff as well, if they would want to communicate that to their staff. So every single people would have a very clear objective and indicator of their performance. The last thing is, as I say, I think make sure that you constantly motivate and encourage people, because it is something that you got to enjoy and passionate about to do it well. So again, one thing you do say all the time is happy staff, probably more productive staff.
Yes.
And perform better.
Với số nhân viên hiện tại lên đến 2.000 người, hoạt động trong một lĩnh vực đòi hỏi sự sáng tạo, năng động để không ngừng đưa ra những sản phẩm mới lạ, đem đến trải nghiệm thú vị cho du khách quốc tế. Có thể nói, con người chính là yếu tố tạo nên thành công của một trong những thương hiệu du lịch có tiếng tại Việt Nam. Tại Thiên Minh, việc đào tạo con người luôn được chú trọng để xây dựng nền tảng phát triển bền vững cho doanh nghiệp. Đội ngũ nhân viên trẻ trung, năng động, linh hoạt và thích nghi nhanh với những thay đổi của bối cảnh kinh tế, làm việc trên nhiều khâu khác nhau, từ tư vấn viên đến lái xe, hướng dẫn viên, đầu bếp, khuân vác, thủy thủ. Thiên Minh đã đáp ứng được hầu hết các yêu cầu và mong muốn của khách du lịch trong nước cũng như quốc tế. Để xây dựng được một đội ngũ như thế này, phải nhắc đến đầu tiên là vai trò của người lãnh đạo, ông Trần Trọng Kiên, luôn cởi mở, gần gũi và thân thiện với nhân viên, cũng như hòa nhập hết mình vào những hoạt động của doanh nghiệp. Ông đã truyền cho họ một niềm cảm hứng, say mê với công việc họ đang làm, cũng như ông Kiên đã từng chia sẻ. Trong công ty, chúng tôi luôn xác định quãng thời gian sắp tới sẽ là quãng thời gian tuyệt vời nhất. Điều này đã thúc đẩy chúng tôi làm việc hết mình. Có lẽ cũng vì thế mà hơn 16 năm đã qua, từ khi mới đặt những viên gạch đầu tiên cho đến khi tạo dựng được một thương hiệu như ngày hôm nay, các nhân viên đã luôn sát cánh cùng công ty, kể cả khi thuận lợi cũng như khó khăn. Sự phát triển vững chắc của doanh nghiệp trong bối cảnh kinh tế khó khăn hiện nay đã minh chứng cho sức mạnh từ văn hóa doanh nghiệp của Thiên Minh.
And I heard one sentence. Someone said, "The business of business is people." And is it the key to how to treat people in leadership, Mr. Chris?
Yes, I know that quote. That's Herb Kelleher.
I don't know exactly what from.
Yeah, for this, he was the founder and CEO of Southwest Airlines, an amazing company. And the business of business is people. After all, who does your accounting? Is it a computer? Who conducts the tour, Buffalo Tours? Who builds the website for Vietnam Works? These things don't happen by themselves. It's all about people.
Engaging culture is one of the most important parts in leadership. And do you think it's necessary to build an engaging culture in company?
How do you mean by engaging culture?
What do you think about engaging culture?
Okay, to me, an engaging culture is a culture where people feel part of the team. They feel like they belong. They feel like they are achieving a goal together with others. Mm-hmm. And I think a leader can do a lot. By the way, everything rises and falls on leadership. The leader of a company, the leader of a team, really has an amazing amount of influence over the performance of that team. I think a leader can help make an engaging culture by communicating excitement and energy all the time. So, for example, when you walk through the office and you ask somebody about a project, or you say, "Hey, you did a great job in sales. Oh, I heard you did a great job." You don't say, "Oh, I heard you did a good job. Congratulations." "Oh, this is a really exciting project we're doing. This is great." There's no energy. A leader engages people by being enthusiastic,
Yes.
by being energetic, by saying, I am really excited to appear in your program today.
Exactly.
Because I love talking about leadership, and I love talking about building companies, and it's a lot of fun."
Mm-hmm.
That, when a leader is communicating energy and excitement, because the leader is energized and excited, then that's when you can really help create an engaging culture. Mm-hmm. Because remember, leaders are like models. Everybody watches the leader all the time. If the leader is low energy, the people will be a low energy. If the leader is excited, the people will be excited. So that's my best tip on how to get people engaged, and it's very powerful. It's a lot like, last thought, you ever see an old movie? There are these movies take place in China 1,000 years ago, and there's a battle between two armies, and the leader of each army gets in front of his men, and he's on his horse, and he goes back and forth, and he says, "Men, today we're going to have victory." Well, I think of that sometimes. That's what a leader needs to do in a company also. Mm. Be visible, be present, and get people excited.
No, you have deeply understanding about engaging culture. Why did you ask me about what is engaging culture as a sentence? You frightened me.
I'm just trying to cause trouble, huh? Yeah.
And Mr. Kien, do you think rumor gossip is one of the parts of engaging culture?
It will never be able to kill all the rumors. In the organizations, there have always been things that come off the the main official channels. And nowadays, all staff have Facebooks and Twitter as well. They probably know things much quicker in the private channels. I don't go against this. I believe that if we are very open and transparent about things and giving an open debate as well, we're actually encouraging people to share those informations. Engaging culture, as Chris mentions, is to get people engaged in the thinking, in the process, and serve for the best interest of the company. I think at Buffalo Tours, we engage people from various activities. It could be official, so the all the mentioned newsletter, update quarterly from CEO, briefing from CEO every end of the month, briefing every Monday. But we do have other activity to engage with outside of work. We do have a beer drinking club every Friday. So we all have this on the 7th floor. Where
I'm stealing that idea.
Free flow beer coming, and that is a lot of communication coming there. The energy coming through that, the friendship, the relationship will build, the trust will build, and at least at me, I don't believe that we should be any different being CEO outside of work. In the workplace, I'm at the top. I lead. I make decisions for the best interest of the company. But outside work, I should be the same as anyone else. I should be able to sit on the same table and having a lunch and dinner and having a beer with my driver, with our cruise members, and that is how we engage. And I think that's happened to all of our general manager as well. We do engage and make it a real family. It's where Buffalo Tours is slightly different from a big corporate culture, would I say. And we want to retain that, even we grow a little bit bigger than we were before.
And is it engaging culture is the thing that we don't need to written down, but it's very important and productive in business.
Yeah, this is a great point. I think a lot of people believe that they have values if they put them on a poster and put it on the wall. Well, we have values now. Look, it's there. It's on the wall. You only have values if you show them through your behavior every day. You have to show your values every day through your behavior. If you believe a value is getting to know your people and creating a friendly environment, then you should be speaking to staff every day. Every day I make a point to walk through the office and walk past on every floor, and I'll try to say hello to people, maybe chat for a minute or two, and create that environment. So no, the answer is having values does not mean having a poster on the wall. It means something that you live and do every day.
$2 may mắn. Đây là phần thưởng mà vị tổng giám đốc này tặng cho nhân viên mỗi khi họ có những ý tưởng xuất sắc, đóng góp hiệu quả cho hoạt động của công ty. Đây là lần thứ 2 chị Ngọc Mai nhận được món quà đặc biệt này. Chị tỏ ra rất hạnh phúc và hãnh diện với mọi người. Đó là một góc trong môi trường văn hóa doanh nghiệp rất nhiều màu sắc của Vietnam Works. Coi con người là trung tâm, những người lãnh đạo ở đây luôn làm mọi cách để mỗi nhân viên của họ ở công ty cảm thấy hài lòng nhất. Và khi đó, họ sẽ dành sự chăm sóc tương xứng cho khách hàng của mình. Ông Chris cũng thường xuyên trực tiếp đào tạo những kỹ năng cho nhân viên của mình như thế này. Và hôm nay, chủ đề của họ là kỹ năng thương lượng. Có thể nhìn thấy ở Vietnam Works một không khí làm việc thân thiện, cởi mở và dân chủ. Mỗi người được tạo điều kiện để không ngừng sáng tạo, đưa ra những ý tưởng mới mẻ. Và nhân viên có thể cùng chia sẻ, trao đổi, bàn bạc vấn đề với lãnh đạo một cách thoải mái và thẳng thắn. với phương châm lãnh đạo là người phục vụ. Trách nhiệm hàng đầu của ban lãnh đạo công ty là phục vụ để hỗ trợ phát triển nhân viên, và thành công của mỗi nhân viên chính là thành công của công ty. Vietnam Work trở thành ngôi nhà thứ hai mà các thành viên đều muốn đến mỗi ngày và cống hiến hết mình để góp phần tạo nên sự phát triển không ngừng cho công ty.
And I have an interesting part to both of you. It's called question and answer. I will give you some cases of culture of the company, and maybe you should comment, share your feeling, and maybe you feel about that's your culture.
Okay.
One, the traditional cultures. It's a culture that you have to work 8 hours a day and have no relationship and communicate outside.
Okay. This is the work must be very serious. We must be serious at work culture. We do not have that culture. We have a culture where people can relax, have some fun, but also work hard.
It's that culture, I think. Definitely not something that I would like to build, and definitely not a company that I want to run.
And it's not your culture.
No way.
Two, hard work culture. People should not have a good time at work. They are paid to do things they dislike.
That sounds terrible.
It is just
So this is about the idea again that I hear a lot. Well, work is something that shouldn't be fun. That's why it's called work. I disagree. I think work can be fun, and I think if you enjoy what you do, it is fun.
in Buffalo too. I think everybody must have a passion in working. So I think it's
We will work hard. We work very hard.
No,
I
the
think we
culture.
work harder than anyone else in the market. But opposite to what is said over
not hard
here,
like this.
that we like what we're working. And because we like what we're working, we know that we can create great experience, prosperity for our partner and ourselves. We work hard.
Work hard, but it's not the kind of hard work culture like this.
No, it's not. But we're working very hard.
Absolutely. Three, busy culture. Also known as the present and busy culture. This is a culture that encourages people to work long hours just to be seen.
I think a culture where this is the, we call it FaceTime.
And you?
In Tokyo, when I was there in 1998, I think it's a culture in Japanese companies that if the boss is still in the office, everyone else will be staying in the office as well, and you will only leave when the boss left. And that is true culture in NEC. It is a company where I visited, and I thought it's strange because I agree 100% with Chris.
Four, don't question culture. People leave their parents at the door and don't question anything for fear of rocking the boat. And they wait for management to tell them what to do.
That culture is a company that is not going to survive very long. A culture where people are afraid to talk, where people are afraid to give their boss ideas, where they're afraid to open their mouths,
Yes.
is a culture where you're not going to have the best ideas. The group is always smarter than one person. And if you're not communicating and sharing ideas, you're not going to be successful.
You remind me about the television show of Mr. Donald Trump, a U.S. millionaire. And in that show, the appearances, everybody have to shut up in the office. And if someone against the boss idea, he scream, "You are fired." So it improves the power of the boss.
Sure, maybe it improves the power of the boss, but does it improve results of the company?
Number 6, old school culture. Typical of conservative organizations and those that have dominated their market for a long time. And it is like a family, and management are the parents.
I'd say old school culture is like a culture that doesn't change. So old school culture means culture from a long time, and it hasn't changed very much. This doesn't happen so much in our business, or I think Buffalo Tours business, but it would happen in a company that's become very successful and has been successful for a long time, where there isn't a lot of change in the industry.
And number 7, the new cultures. The new revolution in the workplace is all about developing a positive culture that encourages people to contribute and to get engaged.
I'd say our culture is a little bit more like that.
It's a culture where we constantly having change. It's not a single month that we're not introducing 3 or 4 new things. A culture where we always constantly welcoming new people to the business.
And I have 3 kinds of culture left, and I'm sure Anh Kien will agree with all. Number 9, feel at home. The office doesn't look like an office anymore. People are wearing comfortable clothes, having meetings over coffee in the company's cafe, and working surrounded by comfortable time.
Yeah, I love it. I think my style is I never wear a tie.
Yeah.
Usually I don't wear a jacket at the office. I want people to be comfortable. I want people to feel relaxed. I'm not really formal, and that's fine. When I worked at Yahoo, we had some of our engineers who are famously informal wear shorts to work. We don't do that at our company. I draw the line there. But I want people to feel comfortable, and that's important to me because I believe if people are comfortable, they'll be more productive.
We at Buffalo, if we relax, you can see being a travel company, what the point coming to work in the suit and the tie. Our executive meetings often over coffee because only meeting with staff, that with the managers, that I often do a formal meeting in the meeting room, but our executives catch up always around coffee, or sometimes over breakfast, sometimes outside in the canteen. So it's very much the kind of culture we want to put there.
And number 10, work anywhere, anytime. Technology has allowed us to take work out of the office and on the road, into the air, and into the home. The idea of working anywhere at any time has a flow on the face.
Technology does allow people to work at home, to work from anywhere, and that's great. And that gives a little bit of flexibility. If they take a day or 2 off, they might be able to check some email. But I'm a little old-fashioned this way. I believe for people to be an effective team, they have to be in the same room. We have to be face-to-face. There's a whole different feeling and a whole different dynamic when you meet people face-to-face instead of over the phone or by email. In fact, I encourage people, even inside the company, not to send email. If they could get up and walk 10 meters and just have a 2-minute conversation, it encourages more face-to-face. So I would rather, even though technology enables flexibility, which is great, and I support that, I do want people to come into the office because I feel like you can't have that team feeling without a lot of face-to-face time.
I personally agree with Chris, but within Buffalo Tours, because of the nature of the work and because of the nature that we actually operated out of 10 offices around the world and different hours, we have created a technology allowing us to work anywhere, from home, from office, from airport to the hotel rooms, and be able to be the same. And also, it actually enabled a lot of the women working for the company because 80% of our people working in the office are women, and naturally they all at some stage get married and then have children. So having children, the ability to sit at home and look after the children and still do work and getting a decent income is quite a powerful thing, attractive thing to get people to work for us. So we had developed the technology, and we actually start introducing that work anywhere to people who work for us. And that would be a quite attractive thing for the company. But I absolutely agree with you. I think the fixed style is very important. So even if we work at home, I believe we should encourage people to come to work, meet with the people, and don't overly rely on digital communications.
And 11. A happy person is a productive person. In this culture, work is allowed to be fun, giving people a chance to let off steam, get creative, and be happy.
Yeah, I really want to create an environment inside the company, and I think we've been successful at this, where people wake up in the morning and they're like, I want to go to work today.
Yeah.
My friends are there.
Yeah.
I have a good time there. I feel recognized. I'm excited about the work I'm doing, and I think that's a very important thing.
It's not the job of the, it's not the main goal, obviously, to make everyone happy. But it certainly be important that to be able to make a workplace that people feel very, very happy being there. So I guess it's probably the message.
Yeah. I want to build on that point, Kien. It's not the objective to make everyone happy, because this is a mistake I made earlier in my career where I was focusing more on the fun environment. And I learned a lesson, which is, yes, you want to create a fun environment. Yes, you want people to come to work. And you insist on very high professional standards. And if you don't do that, it can turn into a place where people feel like, well, I'm having fun. What, I'm supposed to work? What? And you have to be careful about that. But so you have to have you want to have a fun environment, but you say, listen, guys, this is fun and we have to produce results, and you measure people that way. Otherwise, I did have an experience where it went like that and it wasn't fun to fix. So great point.
And we have some situation of company's culture and some kinds of culture we disagree, and some kind of culture we find we are in. And Mr. Chris, can you share your experience, and you can summarize your opinion about leadership?
I'll summarize my opinion about leadership this way. Leaders serve their people. Think about your people like your customers. Think about working for your company like a product. How can you make your product more attractive than the other products out there? If you can do that, you're going to have your choice of the best people. Remember, the most talented people out there, they have a lot of choices. It's the people who don't have talent who don't have the choices. So for you to compete and get the best people, you have to have the most attractive product. Think about your people as customers and evaluate your product and how attractive it is, and work every day to make your product more attractive and valuable. Because if you can do that, you can get the best people and you can win in your business.
And I'm sure after this show, so many Vietnamese and international entrepreneurs should get a lesson and our message, and maybe they should have a strategy to build a winning team to against the financial crisis and develop the company. And thank you both of you to come to our talk show today. I wish to have another chance to work with you anymore, and we'll see your success in your career.
Thank you, Han.
Thank you. It's great to have the chance to talk.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you again. Thưa quý vị và các bạn, chương trình Diễn đàn CEO được phối hợp thực hiện cùng sự hợp tác của Phòng Thương mại và Công nghiệp Việt Nam VCCI. Cảm ơn quý vị đã quan tâm theo dõi. Kính chào tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại.